There are 205 T-shirts with 205 names lining this suburban Washington, D.C. street. 205 people killed by gun violence last year, just in the metro area alone. The death date for each, visible for all. Pastor Earl Zimmerman from Daniels Run Peace Church is in charge of this rotating exhibit for the next 2 weeks. Before joining the church 4 years ago, he was a chaplain at a local trauma center.
Every weekend, there was people coming in with gunshot wounds or people arrived dead. And it was pretty, it just kind of, I said, wow, this is something that we just live our lives and don't think about.
Members of Zimmerman's congregation put up these T-shirts on church grounds just hours before the Las Vegas massacre.
We're kind of shocked, and the grief that's there, that's hard. That is really, really hard.
Last week, the shirts lined the entrance of one of D.C.'s most progressive synagogues, Temple Sinai. Rabbi Hannah Goldstein is one of its spiritual leaders.
It's not just about the ritual, it's not just about the prayer, it's about the actions and living up to the standards, the ethical and moral standards of a person of faith.
The exhibit was intentionally timed to coincide with the holiest day of the Jewish calendar. Congregants held a special service when the shirts came down.
They read the names of all the victims of gun violence, and I think it was more than just hanging art up outside. It was a sacred ritual.
Lisa Delighty heads the Washington, D.C. chapter of Heeding God's Call, the national group behind the T-shirt exhibit.
Writing the shirts is one of the more difficult things that has to be done, especially when you write age 2, age 3.
Delighty says places of worship are a natural home for the T-shirts.
We sometimes need to step up from our pew and step out into the world and say this needs to stop. We need to stop our fellow human beings, our fellow children of God. We need to stop them from dying.
The exhibit is intentionally in an open public space, apolitical by nature, but perhaps a bit provocative. Delighty says the goal is that people should stop, read, pray, and remember, not just the lives that have been lost, but those that are dying every day. This year's victims will appear on next year's shirts. The clergy hope one day there will be no shirts to hang.
Hopefully people who came and saw and were moved by